Hello, my name is Fábio Terezinho, and in this video I'll demonstrate the ITMEViewApp object for Wonderware System Platform. I'll provide a quick overview about the architecture and main capabilities characteristics of the solution, and then I'll demonstrate how to actually use the object and exchange data between Wonderware System Platform and Wonderware InTouch Machine Edition Runtime HMIs. So from a very high level point of view, the ITMEViewApp object is a native object for Wonderware System Platform, which allows you to very easily deploy projects to remote InTouch Machine Edition stations and exchange data between attributes of this object in Wonderware System Platform and tags from runtime InTouch Machine Edition deployed, downloaded, and running on remote stations. InTouch Machine Edition is a complete HMI that runs across multiple platforms: Windows CE, Windows Embedded, regular Windows, Windows Server. And Wonderware System Platform is a complete SCADA system that typically runs on server or desktop stations. And this object provides a very easy way for you to integrate your local HMIs running InTouch Machine Edition with your SCADA system running Wonderware System Platform. So another way to see the architecture is that you have a server on the left side where you install Wonderware System Platform, and it's recommended as well, not necessary, but recommended to run Wonderware InTouch Machine Edition on the same computer. If you do not install InTouch Machine Edition, you can still exchange data between remote runtime versions of InTouch Machine Edition running on the HMIs and Wonderware System Platform, but you lose the ability to edit the projects, to modify the projects from the same station where you have the Orchestra IDE. So InTouch Machine Edition development typically is installed and licensed on the same station where you have the Orchestra IDE. And then you have one additional InTouch Machine Edition installation, runtime only, and license runtime only on the remote HMIs and stations where you actually run the HMI projects. And from Wonderware System Platform, you can connect to those runtime stations that would be running one of the modules from InTouch Machine Edition called Remote Agent, which by default listens to the TCP port 4322. And from Wonderware System Platform, you can download your projects and even troubleshoot the remote applications remotely. This is a diagram that shows the main steps on how to use the InTouch Machine Edition. So you'll see a snapshot from the template toolbox here, and we already have the object ITMEViewApp imported to the template toolbox. Then the first step is to create a derived template for this object. In this case, I renamed it to HMI TR1. And then you can use the interface on this object. When you open this object on the Orchestra IDE, you have an option to create or edit new projects, and that's how that's the moment where we launch the InTouch Machine Edition IDE, the development environment where you can create your InTouch Machine Edition projects just like you do with InTouch Machine Edition standalone. When you finish it, you can save the configuration, and the project is automatically saved into the Orchestra Galaxy repository. That's why this green arrow is bidirectional. You can launch the InTouch Machine Edition from the object, and you can make all your changes, your screens, your tags, your alarms configurations, communication interfaces, everything with the InTouch Machine Edition IDE. And when you save the changes, we save this information back to the Galaxy repository. Once your project is developed, then the next step is to deploy the object. And as you see here, I created a platform, a Wing platform, an app engine, an area, and I deployed two instances of this object called HMI TR1 001 and 002. So those are the deployed instances of the object, and those deployed instances of the object are responsible for exchanging data with the actual InTouch Machine Edition runtime instances deployed on remote runtime stations, runtime HMIs. After deploying the instances, then you can double click on each one of the instances, type the IP address of the actual remote HMI stations, and download the application to the actual runtime stations. In the runtime stations, you just need to install the standard InTouch Machine Edition runtime and run the remote agent module cserver.exe, which listens to the port 4322 by default. So after downloading the project to the runtime stations, you can run the project remotely. You can trigger a remote command to run the application on the remote stations. And then as soon as you do that, as long as the object is deployed on system platform, the object in system platform will automatically exchange data with the runtime stations, and tags from InTouch Machine Edition runtime will be available to system platform as attributes of the deployed objects. And they will exchange data through the built-in TCP/IP module from InTouch Machine Edition, and the communication is event-driven. So there is no pooling between the deployed objects in system platform and the runtime edition of InTouch Machine Edition. All the communication is event-driven. If a tag changes in InTouch Machine Edition runtime, the updated value is sent to system platform and vice versa. So these are the basic steps, and in a few minutes I'll demonstrate how to actually configure all those steps using the actual product. Just before we start the demonstration, a summary on the benefits, the value proposition of this solution to the customers. The bottom line is to provide the best-in-class solution to integrate runtime HMIs with the central system platform, with the central SCADA system or enterprise. So you notice that the configuration to make this link happen is extremely simple. You can launch the HMI editor directly from the SCADA, from the system platform Orchestra IDE. The project is automatically saved. The HMI project or projects are automatically saved into the Orchestra Galaxy repository, so you have a central location to manage your projects. You can automatically exchange data, event-driven, between the runtime HMIs and the central server, so only when tags change of values you have communication, and it's extremely simple to link the tags from the HMIs with attributes from system platform objects. The alarm status can be automatically exchanged between InTouch Machine Edition runtime stations and system platform. You can even, if you acknowledge an alarm in the HMI, the alarm is acknowledged in system platform and vice versa. And you can also very easily expose the values from the runtime HMIs and save those values to the Wonderware historian in system platform. Finally, you have all the tools to remote manage the applications from system platform. You can download the projects, stop the projects, run the projects, everything from the Wonderware System Platform IDE. So extremely well designed and easy to use integration between the SCADA system with system platform and the runtime HMIs running InTouch Machine Edition. With that, I'll switch to the actual demonstration. In this machine, I have the Orchestra IDE and InTouch Machine Edition previously installed on the computer. I'll start from the scratch, creating a brand new galaxy here. So I'll create here my galaxy. And by the way, this interface is available for Wonderware System Platform 2012 or newer, and InTouch Machine Edition version 8.0 ServicePack 1 or newer. And in this particular machine, I have System Platform 2014 R2 and InTouch Machine Edition version 8.0 plus ServicePack 1, which is the first version of InTouch Machine Edition that fully supports this object. So in a few seconds, the galaxy must be created, and then I can start the actual configuration. Okay, the galaxy is created, so I can close this dialog, select my galaxy, and connect to it. So our Orchestra IDE will open in a few seconds. There we go. So here in the templates toolbox, I can expand system, and I do not have the ITMEViewApp object here. So I can import it by going on Galaxy, Import Objects. And since I have InTouch Machine Edition version 8.0 plus Service Pack 1 installed here, I can go to its installation directory, which is Program Files, Wonderware, InTouch Machine Edition version 8, and I have this subfolder Redist, and then the folder ITME object, and I have the AAPKG file right there. So I can just click here and say OK, and it will import the object automatically to Wonderware System Platform. There we go. Now I can close this dialog, right click, and create a new derived template from this object and name it as HMI, for example. Very well. Now if I double click or right click and open, I'll see the interface for this object from the configuration point of view. And I have an option here to edit the project. Since there is no project linked to this derived template in the Galaxy repository, it automatically gives me two options: either create a new project from the scratch or import an existing InTouch Machine Edition project that I created previously, for example, using the standalone version of InTouch Machine Edition. I want to create something from the scratch, so I'll just select this option, and in a few seconds it's going to launch the development environment, the IDE for InTouch Machine Edition. So it gives me the option to select the license type for my runtime application, and gives me the option to select the resolution for my runtime station. Does not have to match the resolution on the development computer. The applications can even rescale automatically during the runtime, but you select the resolution here that you want to use as the base when designing the screens. Very well, this is the standard development environment for InTouch Machine Edition. So here on the Global tab from Project Explorer, I can expand project tags, create a new tag, for instance, level. And those three columns are the three columns used to share information with System Platform. I value for integrated value. If I check here, I'm saying that whenever this tag changes of value on the HMI, I want to update the value in an attribute from the object in System Platform. iAlarm means integrated alarms, and it means that I want to share the alarm status with System Platform. So again, if I acknowledge the alarm on the HMI, it's acknowledged on System Platform and vice versa. And iHistorian pretty much tells Wonderware System Platform to add this tag to the Wonderware Historian through the engine and save this tag value to the historian whenever it changes values. You can also browse or type the tag name here on the ribbon and click on Properties and go to this tab, System Platform Integration, where I have the same three checkboxes that you see on the worksheet, and I have additional Wonderware Historian properties that I can customize, like the trend scale, min and max values. For example, I'm changing the max here to 100. Very well. Now here under Tasks, I can configure my alarm conditions. I'll define here if level is higher than 80, I want to show the message level to high. If I want to save to the HMI history, I can enable those options. Saved the alarm worksheet. And here in graphics, I can create screens, and I'll build something quickly here, like a button with the label exit. So when I click on the button, I want to execute the shutdown built-in function to shut down the runtime application. I can go to symbols and select here a slider. Pick, for instance, this slider here, place on the screen, and link it to the tag level. So I can change the tag level dynamically during the runtime. In a real application, instead of using a slider, I would come here to communication and use either one of the native drivers from InTouch Machine Edition to communicate with PLCs, motion controllers, robots, any external device. There are hundreds of drivers built in the product, or an OPC client interface to read the data from those devices through a third-party OPC server. In this particular case, I'll just simulate different values for level using this slider. Now here in the trend control, I can go to points and define that I want to show the level tag in a blue pen, and here is the level tag. And here in graphics, I can also display an alarm control on the screen. So here I can go to columns and add the comment column. So I'll see the comments from the user on the alarm control. And here in advanced, I can enable comments as well. So when I double click to acknowledge the alarm, I have the option to enter my own comments. I can save it as the main screen. So here under graphics, I have my main screen. If I right click, I can set this screen as the startup screen. There is just one more step to do, which is to come here on the Home tab from the ribbon interface under Tasks and select the TCP/IP server module, select it as automatic. So when I run the application, the TCP/IP server module will run, and this is the module used to exchange data with the object deployed on Wonderware System Platform. So good enough for now. I can save my configuration. It is automatically saving this project into the Galaxy repository. Done. Very well. So my project is developed and saved into the Galaxy repository. So here under deployment, I can start my deployment starting with the platform. So it's creating an instance of the platform. Then I will add an engine under the platform. Just move the engine to the platform. And here on the engine, I'm going to enable the historian for my local host, my local computer. So double clicked on the app engine, and I'm going to enable the historian to my local host. Save the changes. I'll create an area here under the engine. And finally, I'm going to deploy an instance of this HMI object here under area 001. There we go. Now if I double click on these objects, and if I have several HMIs, actual runtime stations, devices, I could have several instances of this object under deployment. And for each one of them, I can define the IP address of the actual runtime station. So in real-world projects, those stations would be in different computers, not in the same computer where I'm running the IDE. But for sake of demonstration, I will assume that this same computer will be also the runtime station. So in the runtime station, what I have to do is go to the directory where InTouch Machine Edition is installed. So I come here to InTouch Machine Edition version 8, and I will run the cserver.exe module, which launches this remote agent dialog. This is the TCP/IP server that will allow InTouch Machine Wonderware System Platform to connect to this station and manage it remotely. So here in device IP, I will keep the local IP address. The real application would be a remote IP address from the actual device running InTouch Machine Edition runtime. And I hit connect to remote agent. As you see here, it connected, tells you the platform, the status of the application, and then I can download the project associated with this object to the actual runtime station. The download was finished. Now I can come here and actually run the application. Again, in a typical real solution, this would start the application in a remote physical device. In this particular case, it's running the application on the same computer where I have Orchestra IDE. So I can save the changes here on the object. And my runtime is started here. I can change the values here with the slider. And here in System Platform, I can download, I can right-click on the platform and deploy the platform, the engine, and the area. So it's going to take a few seconds, and eventually the platform, the engine, and the actual instance of the ITME object will be all deployed and running. Very well. Everything has been successfully deployed. So this object is actually communicating, exchanging data with the runtime InTouch Machine Edition already. If I go to the object viewer, then I can see the platform, the engine, and the actual instance of my object here. And you see all the attributes from the object, including the tags for which I checked the checkboxes on the columns iValue, iAlarm, and or iHistorian. So you see here the tag level with the value 44 is the current value for the tag. And I have even additional attributes like act or act message that I can drag here to my attribute reference watch list. So you see the value 44. If I change the value here on Wonderware System Platform from 44 to 95, for example, it writes the value 95, and you see the value 95 here in Touch Machine Edition. You see the alarm is activated here. In Touch Machine Edition, if I double click and write, for instance, act from ITME and say enter, back to System Platform, the act property is true and the act message is act by ITME. Then in Touch Machine Edition, I can drop the value, for instance, to 22. In System Platform, you see the value is 22. Can simulate the alarm again. And now if I want to acknowledge from System Platform, can go to the act message and change it to act by Wonderware System Platform or any other message. And now you see in Touch Machine Edition, the alarm is acknowledged with the comment act by Wonderware System Platform. So it's that easy to exchange data between Touch Machine Edition and Wonderware System Platform. And if I open the trained client for the historian, I can select here in the list of servers my galaxy, my area, my object, and the tag level is automatically available here. And as you see, the values we are changing up and down are automatically available on the Wonderware Historian. So it's that easy to create a project from the scratch, from System Platform, download it, to an actual runtime station running InTouch Machine Edition and configure this project to exchange online tag values, alarm status, and save data to Wonderware Historian from the actual object. I hope the demonstration has been useful for you and you see value in the features and capabilities that we demonstrated. So I'd like to thank you for your time, and please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day or a great evening.